Welcome back. YouWin is a government grant scheme aimed at helping young people in Nigeria to grow their businesses. Let's meet some of the beneficiaries of the program. Bimbo Gomez is the CEO of Building Force Associates. She started her small-scale construction business with funds borrowed from family and friends.
We actually started this business in 2010 and we started working from home. We had some working capital, but because most of the projects we're handling as a design and build company, we had to finance it up front, then upon completion we'll be paid. So the little resources we had, we couldn't spend it on getting an office space. So we're working from home, and we had been running the business for a little over a year. And we're getting jobs from at least some corporate organizations, we're executing our projects, and we're being paid. But we're trying to increase our working capital. So getting an office space, employing permanent staff wasn't one of the things we were doing. We're using contract staff. When we got a contract, we got contract staffs, engineers, QS, or whoever we needed. And they came on board, we execute the projects, and they have to find other contracts.
Bimbo's big break came when she heard about the government's business plan competition.
I actually got an email, I think from EDC, Enterprise Development Center. That's an arm of Pan Atlantic University. I had applied for a program there. Then I did not get admitted to that program, which I have done now eventually. But they just sent me an email talking about YouWin, and there is a business plan competition based on merits, of your idea. And I said to give it a try. And that was it. And I think that was sometime in September or October of the year. I just said, well, even if I don't get to win this business plan competition, I've always wanted to write a business plan, but I didn't know how to go about it. And I couldn't afford a consultant because, as a new business, you need to save all the money that you can save. So I said to give it a try. And surprisingly, after a month or so, I got an email. Everything was online. I got an email that you've been shortlisted. You can now move on to the next stage. Woo! I was excited. I said, in Nigeria, you don't need to know anyone. Everything was online.
Bimbo used the funding provided by YouWin to set up and equip her business, employ full-time staff, and is now able to take on bigger contracts.
YouWin, for me, I think the word I can use, or is it the cliche I can use, is a fast track for my business. What would have achieved in 2 to 3 years, we're able to achieve in 6 months. We've wanted to get an office space, a conducive office space, because we could have gone to get a one-room apartment and just manage there. But we decided to just work from home until we could afford something that we really wanted. Number one, we're able to rent an office space that we wanted, equip it, employ permanent staff, because we're using contract staff, basically. But now we have engineers, admin officers, office assistants, they're all permanent staff. And our working capital, it has also enabled us to increase our working capital. And that has in turn increased our response to the jobs we get. Before, when we get a job, if we're already handling one project, you have to now start looking for funds, to start the other project until the company now maybe mobilizes you. But now, because it has increased our working capital, plus the savings that we have had before, it has increased the speed at which we respond to our clients. And our clients, of course, will be happy when your speed has increased and your quality is acceptable. So it has been fast track for my business.
Maureen Iyasele is a human resource professional who is now able to take her business to the next level, thanks to the capital she won from the program.
I used to be an engineer once upon a time, so when I was working, I realized that I had many friends and people, family friends, people that were not employed, that were out there looking for jobs, and a lot of them were a bit clueless as to how to go about it. And I also noticed that a lot of employers as well were looking for people that they could employ, and I noticed that there was a gap there. So my initial idea was to set up like a job center that could bridge the gap between the job seeker and the employer. So that's how I got thinking about the whole idea of setting something up. And I decided to do the research, and and here we are today. One of the things that I was not satisfied with my current business model is my online presence, my online platform. And I had been thinking about how I can improve the website and how I can improve the information that young people receive on the website. And you know, there's this new thing of online learning now, the online platforms that you can use to learn, because I know that everybody can't come to the center. I've been having this headache about how I can take it to the next level. And then, you know, we also have mobile applications. So we have the iPads, the Blackberries, the Androids, and all of that. I've always wanted to be able to get the information to the people as they go. So one of the things I definitely wanted to do was to improve my online presence. So that was what I actually applied for with regards to the YouWin branch, yes.
Maureen explains the long process that culminated in her emergence as one of the 1,200 winners.
It was a two-stage process. The first stage involved us putting our preliminary ideas together. It's actually like a question and answer process, whereby they ask you things like what your overall idea is, who your target audience is, who are your competitors, you know, the usual stuff that you would have on a business plan, but they don't expect you to go as deep as you would normally go. And then once you've answered that, you submit that, and then you wait for a response to see if you've been successful to get to the next stage. Now, the people that got selected from the first stage, about 6,000 people are selected. We had to go through a mandatory training, business training. It was for about 2 days or 3. And we were trained on how to write proper business plans and what they expect us to, the information they expect us to provide, including the financial records as well. Sorry, the financial statements rather. And based on that training, we then had to go away, 6,000 of us go away, and then fill in a second set of questions, similar to the first one, but this time they wanted us to be a lot more detailed now that we've had the training. And then from there, they selected the 1,200 successful participants. Like most people, I asked for 10 million because that's the most that you can actually get. But in the end, I was awarded 7.5 million naira. I don't know how they came to that decision, but that was what I was awarded. I do know, though, that some people got the full amount of money that they actually asked for. Some people might have gotten a bit more than they asked for. Some people got less than they asked for. Fortunately, I got less than I asked for.
Mahasin Kadri is a lawyer that discovered her passion for food making, and thanks to YouWin, now has the capital to take this to the next level.
I had been selling snacks because I got to a point where I realized that getting investors would be really, really difficult if I achieved it at all. So I decided, people kept on telling me, why not start small? Why not start small? Why not start small? So I took the little money I had with me and I went to the market and I bought myself, you know those black frying bowls? I don't know what they call them in English. I bought one of those, and then I bought a camping gas, the outdoor version. And then I bought myself a cylinder of gas, and then I set it up in my parents' house. And then I went to the markets. I went to Mushi Market and I bought a bag of plantains. And then I started frying and sealing them at home. I went to Lagos Island and I bought a sealer for 5,000 naira. So I'd seal them and then I'd sell them. And people were buying them and I got better at it. And then after a while, I got ambitious and decided, why should I just sell to people here and there? Why not sell in supermarkets? Then I started doing research about that. So then I started talking to different supermarkets and they agreed with me that my product was nice and they were willing to sell it for me. So I started supplying them. And then I got to a point where I realized that, wow, I need more people on board, but I didn't have the money to pay them. It was around about that time that I heard about YouWin, so I applied. And I was broke when I got that announcement about how you have to travel to Pan-African University to go for the trainings. I was terribly broke. I had like 5,000 naira on me. And when I did the math, I realized that if I spend that 5,000 naira, by the time I finish the trainings, I would be dead broke. I'm like, okay. So I just said, okay, why? Just do it. So I did it. I went for the trainings. It was a fantastic experience seeing so many other people, young people, who had dreams, who had applied for the program, and who were there pursuing the same thing I was pursuing, the opportunity to own their own businesses, to create employment, to benefit, to be a contributor in the Nigerian dream, rather than just being salary worker.
Part of the success of YouWin has been due to the strict controls over spending of the funds.
What they did was they broke down the stipends into 4 tranches. So, and each tranche is based on certain criteria. There's certain things that you need to put on ground for you to be able to qualify for a tranche and then move on to the next tranche. And you have to meet with your monitors from Smeden and the School for Startups, who also participated in the training. You also have to attend trainings, bootcamp trainings, which are basically entrepreneurship-based trainings that are supposed to give you more information and empower you more towards what you're trying to achieve. So, for instance, if your first set of criteria is you're supposed to, when they give you the first tranche, you're supposed to do the basics. So in my case, the basics included incorporation, registering for tax, getting a location. You will state the number of jobs you're going to create in your business plan to win. And then you have to validate that during the monitoring process. So your monitors also take time to ensure that you're doing that. It's part of the tranche process. So for instance, if they give you a 10% employment rate, so if you quoted that you're going to employ 20 people in your business, then you have to achieve 20% before, or say 10% before you get one tranche, and then before you get to the next tranche, you have to achieve another percentage. And the objective is to ensure that by the time you get to your 4th tranche, you would have achieved probably up to 75% of your recruitment or your job creation quota. So for instance, in my case, I have already achieved over 50% of mine and I haven't started business yet. And I'll be completing the rest of it this month towards starting business in October.
But while the government has taken steps to monitor funded projects and to minimize waste, some winners pointed out areas where they see room for improvement.
I wish they gave us more in terms of information about what they're looking for. Like I said earlier on about the criteria and about how to fulfill that criteria, because I believe that there's still a lot of people who have great ideas who are being left behind because they don't understand what YouWin is looking for. I think if they were able to communicate more clearly or more extensively what it is they're looking for, that more people would be able to get in. For instance, I know someone who won the Echoing Green Scholarship, Fellowship, who didn't win YouWin. So it makes one wonder why, what happened, yeah. So that's basically it. But other than that, the whole program was fantastic. It was a lovely experience, not just for me, but a lot of people around me. I know that for a fact. I also wish that, without wanting to sound like an Oliver Twist and asking for more, I wish that the government would consider doing something to pull in more of those people who are left behind in the process. During my process, I heard that some 27,000 people applied, and at the end of the day, they only take 1,200. That's some 25,000 bright-minded kids, 25,000 beautiful ideas that have been left on the side of the road, while everybody else, while the minority forges ahead. And there's really no guarantee that the people that you do pick are better, or that the ideas that you do select are better than the ones that are left behind.
The program is still a work in progress, but many of the winners confirm that it is one credible scheme by the Nigerian government to struggling entrepreneurs.
I think it's extremely important, and I think it's a laudable program, and I think we need more programs like this. And to be honest, nothing can ever be 100%, foolproof or what have you. But the truth of the matter is they're trying, and I think it would really go a long way. I know people that won. I won the second phase. I know people that actually won the first phase, and because of the fact that they were able to get that seed capital, they're thriving right now. At least they've been able to acquire a small office space. They've been able to, recruit a few people and have some money that they can use to pay them for a while. And for the fact that they're being monitored as well, makes them a lot more serious, and they're taking the whole program seriously.
That's where we leave it for today's episode. Economic Lifelines Nigeria will be back at the same time next month. Should you have any comments, questions or queries about the program, please feel free to contact us on our website www.abndigital.com. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.